Hello everyone, welcome back. In this video I'm going to be talking to you guys about how to install grommets in your Gambison to hold the plates in place. Okay, so the grommets, I'll show you on this side, some that are not covered up. You can see these grommets here. Basically you put holes in the fabric with these grommets here that you can then attach the plates to. Okay, now when you buy Gambison, it doesn't have arming points, and the reason is because people can attach armor slightly differently. Okay, so where I want my arming points might be slightly different where somebody else wants to hang those arming points. And also the way it usually works is you don't attach the metal directly to the fabric, because the metal is going to start ripping the fabric. You usually have like a piece, basically the plate is going to go on, is going to get a piece of lever attached to it that you're going to put your holes on, and that's going to get, basically that the leather is what's going to attach to the grommets. Okay, so if you look here, like on this elbow, you can see here I have like a very generous piece of lever here. Somebody else might have less, somebody else might have more. So the point is that armor plates are slightly different, and people do tend to attach them slightly differently. So that's why Gambisons typically don't come with grommets pre-installed. You have to install them yourself. I have seen some really cheap Gambisons that have like a string or something that hangs off the shoulder or off the elbow for attaching plates to. Those strings aren't going to last. Okay, so this is the right way to do it. You gotta put grommets in your Gambison so you can attach the arming points to. Okay, so in this video we're going to talk about how I installed the grommets, because I don't think there's too many videos out there that show you how to attach these plates to your Gambison. Now I did all this yesterday. I actually recorded the installation of the grommets yesterday, and I'm going to link that video to the second half. Initially I was going to put this to the back half, but I think it makes more sense for you guys to kind of see the finished product first before, and then you can continue watching the actual process of how I do it. Now, this is my old Gambison. This is, I don't know, from like 5 years old, and you can see how these, you can see it's like torn to shreds, especially around the arm, the armpit area where a lot of times I'm stretching, or areas like over here with the, armpit areas ripped, and over here with the, the plates still make a little contact with the Gambison. So the Gambison is basically a consumable product. You can expect that, if you are practicing and fighting as often as you should be, which should be at least weekly, you're gonna go through these pretty quickly. Now I have this for 5 years, but this isn't the only one I've used in 5 years. So if you're using it continuously, you only got one, you're probably only gonna get like maybe 2 years out of it. Okay, so anyway, let me show you the old grommets. Usually they're brass, right? Now if you notice over here, they're actually in backwards. I always put them in backwards. This is normally the side that would go on the outside. This is the smoother side. I prefer to have the smoother side, okay, against my skin. Okay, so the side that's peened over, I put it on the outside, because then the plate's going to go on top of this. It's going to cover this up anyway. Okay, and it's also easier to install it that way, right? Because when you put it on an anvil, right, and for an anvil, I use one hammer. I use a big hammer like this, and then I use another hammer, to hammer these things into place. I'll show you in the second part of this video. I'll show you how to do that. But the point is that it's a lot easier to install these, this way, where the peen, because otherwise you're working like this, and that's fine if you're doing the shoulder. But when you get to the elbow is like really, really hard to do that way. Or, when you get to the elbow and you get inside the sleeve, unless you're a tailor and you're going to take the sleeve apart, you're going to end up peening outwards, right? So the part that gets bent back and down is going to be on the outside for the elbow and the sleeve. So you might as well just do the whole thing like that. Okay, and again, I don't want those sharp bits on my skin. I want them on the outside, facing the armor, not facing my skin. Okay. So let me put this out of the way. So by the way, this is, even though this is ripped to shreds, this is still usable, so you just keep this as a backup. So this is the one I was working on yesterday, okay, and I'm going to show you how I install this. First of all, let me put this on. So I got this Gambison off of Amazon for $100. The first one I bought, which was like something like 15, 16 years ago, you used to have to pay something like $300 for these things. Nowadays you can get these for $100. Now the only bad thing is that they usually, you may have to send it back. This one was I bought a 2X, and this is running small, so I really should have got a 3X. I'm not sending it back. I decided to keep it because the elbows and the sleeves are actually perfect, and that's the important part. The elbows and the sleeves, right? I got to be able to, so this part here is perfect, the part that counts. This part here, I don't care so much about, because first of all, even though this, because remember, this also is gonna have to wear in. It's gonna stretch. It's gonna get wet. It's gonna get all sweaty. So it's gonna break in a little bit. So this basically normally covers me like this. So this covers the soft parts over here. So that's why I don't even care so much. And then I got the gorget that kind of hangs down over here. So I don't even care about this part not closing up. This is going to be just fine. So as long as the sleeve length is fine. It's not like too floppy or anything. Because sometimes you get Gambisons and there's like, the one time I bought one and it had like this huge elbow that was like just wrong. I actually ended up paying somebody to tailor that. And it costs you at least $100 to have an elbow, retailored. So that's why I'm happy with this, and it's tight, because you don't want this too poofy, because then when you put the armor on top of it, it's just not going to fit well. So you want everything nice, tight fitting, and then it'll stretch a little bit. I'll take this off. So, if you notice, like for the type of fighting that I do, we're calibrated for male armor. So regardless of what we're actually wearing, we're all assumed to be in male armor. And the blows are basically calibrated, so if you were using an edged weapon, you could break bones through that mail. So usually when I'm fighting, we're using rattan, right? So this has a basket here, so it's balanced like a real sword. It weighs like something like 2.5 pounds. So because this is roundish, okay, it's still shaved down on the sides to give this an edge, but because it has a wide edge over here, I'm really mostly concerned about protecting the joints, like my shoulders, my elbows, and the thin bones of the forearm. So if I catch a blow, let's say over here, I mean, yeah, it's gonna hurt, but I'll survive that. That's not gonna break a bone. And I've gotten pretty good at, like, I almost never get hit here now, because basically I use the sword. Because basically this is my resting position, like this when I hold the shield. So this is basically protecting this area over here. So as I'm attacking, the sword's always in front of this area. So I almost never get hit in the arm, unless, if I'm striking low, basically my shield's out, so it's protecting my arm. So that's why I'm not too concerned with this. But I need the elbow. Elbow has to be protected, because if you get hit there, elbow can get broken. Okay? So either I'm using a sword like this, or if I'm doing something like cut and thrust or HEMA, we're using swords like this. So when you're using a bladed sword, for the way we fight, it's supposed to be a lighter calibration. Okay, so basically, again, so even though this is a steel blade, if I get hit in an unarmored area, it's not supposed to be that hard that it would actually break any bones. Okay, so again, I want to mostly protect the thin bones of the forearm, elbow. Joint really sucks if you get hit there hard, although a lot of people do fight without protection on the shoulders. So that's one of the things you got to be aware of. It's like, what hitting calibration are you playing with? Because there's guys out there that use steel blades like this, and they go full power, full speed, right? I only do full power, full speed with the wooden swords. But if you're doing full power, full speed with blades, yeah, you probably need better protection than this. So the protection has to be basically geared towards the type of fighting that you are doing. So let's talk a little bit more about this setup over here. First, let me show you how the elbow is set up. So this is the left side here. I haven't attached the elbow. This one's going to basically end up going over here. All right, so that's going to end up going over there, and it's going to attach over here. And something that I did a little bit different this time, because I usually pad the inside of the elbow. So what I did this time is with the pad, because there's rivets. You see these rivets over here that come through here? You don't want somebody driving these rivets into your body. So I always put a little bit of padding there, right? But normally what I did in the past, I would basically just go all the way around. This time I left the hollow here, right? I left the hollow basically. So there's a little bit of protection on the side, because remember the Gambison is also padded itself. But what this did is it allowed my elbow to seat a little further in, which makes this wing over here stick a little further out. But that's one of the issues I had in the past when I put that padding all the way around the back over here. What I found is that this wing basically sunk back by like whatever, an eighth of an inch or a quarter inch or something. So by not going all the way around with the padding, all the way around over here, it allowed my my elbow to sink in there a little bit. Okay. Now what I did do is I took I put a little piece of padding right in there, right where these two pieces, right, and basically it's a long thin. Basically, I cut a little piece of foam. Okay, like that, and I basically put that right in there between the two pieces, because every once in a while, as you're throwing a shot, somebody will hit you there, and because that's a point, if you get hit, that really kind of sucks. Putting that little piece of foam over there really takes some of the, basically it makes the shot a lot easier to absorb on the elbow. Okay, so that's a little trick I learned, to put a tiny little bit of foam right in between those two plates, and it's just a tiny little piece, and it doesn't interfere with, see, you can see it there, it doesn't interfere with how the plates move. Okay, that's now one of the things that you'll notice, I actually didn't do this with this yet. Initially when I put this in, you see there's two lines of holes here. So I put in, initially I tried to go, they were set up like this, and I thought it was sitting a little bit too low. So basically I punched some more holes over there and put this a little bit lower. And then that worked out pretty good. The alternative would have been to basically run another 4 grommets a little higher up and raise the elbow up. So that's the thing with this thing. If you screw up, you can always make more holes, attach more grommets. It's not that you want to, but you can. Okay. So initially this was sitting a little bit low, but just by running those holes a little bit lower over here, I was able to lift up the elbow, and now it's sitting very well. Okay. Now, as far as the band brace, right? If you know, a lot of times most people are going to use like a leather strap, a buckle, basically like this. The reason why I use lace and not a buckle is because I fight as both a righty and a lefty, and what happens is if I attach my shield, right? Because basically I have the band brace set up on both arms, so I can switch from righty to lefty to pole arm to gauntlets to whatever. So when I had a buckle on the band brace, that really prevented me from sliding my arm into the shield. Right. So with this type of a setup now, I'm able to, basically keep the band braces on. When I put the shield on, because in the past what I would do is like if I was going to be fighting righty, I would not have any leather on this arm. But then if I wanted to switch or wanted to fight, let's say with a pole arm, and I needed a band brace, then I'd have to tie it in. So I have found that it's just a lot easier to use this setup and just leave it on there, right? And then if I'm fighting with a shield, because there's no buckle, I can easily slide this over, and then I can fight, and then, I can switch to different forms. Right, so that's a little trick that I have found that has worked for me. So instead of using a buckle here, I'll just have these laces. And basically this ties over here. Now if you notice, you see how this is long. Part of the reason why I leave this long, I just double it up, is because a lot of times if you need to adjust it, like right now, if I needed to run this through, I have enough slack here that I can sit here and I can actually thread this on my own, right? I can run through here, right? So because now I have enough, and now I can run my arm through here. Okay, I can slide this up my arm, and then all I gotta do is run up to somebody and tell them to just to just basically shoelace tie it. So that's one of the reasons why I leave these so long, is so that I can, I'm not gonna go through trouble because I still got to put the elbow on. But that's part of the reason why I leave the straps, these things long, so I can work with it while it's still on my body, and I can do a lot of the work still on my own because I can reach the two ends. Also, the reason why these straps over here are long, so I can, I got room to work with. And what I also did is, if you look over here, right, you see how I basically I put these holes in over here. There's a new strap but I also put these even bigger holes down here, and that is for when I want to remove this. I just come all the way down here, and I just lock this into one of those big holes, right? And now this doesn't come loose, and I can easily remove this. So that's one of the little things I have found to make my life easier. Now, if you notice, I like yellow. My coat of arms is yellow. Okay. The reason is because, first of all, like when I'm working the range here, I wear yellow in the summertime because it reflects light well, right? So this doesn't absorb, heat. But basically, it doesn't absorb light; it reflects it. So I don't heat up as much. That's why I like yellow. I don't use white because white, a lot of times if I'm doing a video, instructional video, the white reflects a little bit too much, and sometimes I kind of glow. So the yellow is like a perfect color for the summertime. So I adopted the same colors on the battlefield. I wear yellow because it reflects light well, doesn't get as hot. It's just a good fighting color. Okay? So I'm going to attach the video now where I show you guys how to install these grommets. And again, this is a very useful skill to have. And let me just show you what the grommets look like. So that's the side with the neck, and that's the flat side, and basically this is going to go on one side of the fabric, and it's basically going to come through like this on the other side of the fabric, and then what happens is you hammer that down, and it basically just bends it back and it holds it in place. So that's just basically. Hey everyone, I'm going to show you guys how I put the grommets in my Gambison. Okay, so this is my old Gambison, right? And kind of ripped to shreds over here, as you guys can see. But you can see the old arming points that I installed, right? You see how I put the grommets in, and basically the armor basically attaches, basically ties in through these grommets, right? And you just put it wherever you want on your jacket. Basically have these arming points. So I've got it typically on my shoulders, on my elbows, and then there's one in there for my VAM braces, and everything basically kind of floats. The armor is not attached to, there's no piece of armor is attached to itself. Everything's attached to the Gambison. So here I got the new one that came in. I got this off of Amazon. It was $100. I got it like 2X. They run small. I probably should have got a 3X, but whatever. I'm gonna make it work. I'm hoping it'll stretch a little bit. For $100, it's not bad. So here are the ones that I already put in. Right, I'm gonna show you guys how you do it. So the grommets that we're using. Where are we? Grommet kit. I bought this a couple of years ago. But basically, let's look at it. Hopefully it'll tell us the size somewhere of these things. Oh, here you go. 0.75 inch diameter. Okay. So usually with these grommets, what you'll have is there's two sides, right? There's this side. Oh, let me get. There's this side with the neck, and then this side over here, which is flat. Okay, so these are the two sides, and then basically you need a tool that usually comes with it. And the tool is going to look something like this. So you got like, basically this is your anvil, and then basically that's your set. All right, so basically this is what's going to make those two pieces. You know, that's what's going to bend. That's what's going to bend that to hold that in place like that. So it's going to bend it down. And you can see here how they've been bent down. And it's like, don't worry about getting this thing perfect. You know, I mean, this thing's going to get hit and beat up, and so. And here's the thing: if you put the grommets in a slightly wrong position, you just make more holes. You put more grommets. I mean, there was one time, the first time I did this, I had like one set of grommets went here, and then that was like wrong, and I just put another set up there. So you can always put more grommets. So the first time you do this, you're gonna make mistakes. I mean, I've done this probably my 4th time doing this, and I still make mistakes. And the truth is that I kind of forgot how I did this. So every time I do this, I have to kind of go back and relearn it. So I'm gonna do a video this way. I have something to reference in the future. Let's get you guys there so you guys can see. So what you're gonna do is, first thing you gotta do is take your armor, put the jacket on, and get an idea of where you want. It's basically your armor is gonna look like this. You got your metal, and then you got the leather, right? You don't want to put the metal directly onto the fabric because the metal is gonna rip the fabric. So you're gonna have a piece of leather that you're gonna rivet into the armor here to basically, and the leather is basically what's gonna basically tie into the Gambison like that. Okay, so once you get an idea of where you want this, right, you're just gonna mark it with with a pen, right? Like I did this, and like on this side, you can see how I marked it like a freaking dozen times over here until I finally got it right. So the next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna need a punch like this, right? Just a, not a punch, what do you call this thing? Like a large pin, basically, a pick. That's what this is called, a pick. That's what's gonna make the hole. Then what I do is I follow it up with this, basically. So this is just a punch to make the hole bigger. And then sometimes on some jackets that were like really tough, what I would do is I would actually go in with this and then just kind of crank it open a little bit. I haven't had to do it with this, where you go in and just like crank it open. So I haven't been using that today. So once you mark your holes, right? So initially you're just gonna basically just hold like this and just punch through. I've already done this hole. Punch through, so that it goes all the way through. Just punch it straight through. It's gonna make sense. Then what you're gonna do is you're gonna go through it with this, and then you're gonna basically just push this through and open up the hole to the size of the grommet, basically. Okay, so it's gonna come through like that, right? So you see how I pushed it through, right? So once you do that, right? And what I did is I went through all of these, and first I punched, because I had these already marked. So basically I went through it, I made the 8 holes, then I went through it with this, expanded them a little bit, right? And now I'm going back and I'm actually putting the grommets in. So you're gonna push this through like this, right? Right, then you're gonna take the grommet that has the neck and basically just set it like that, right? Right, so you're gonna set it like that. Now this hammer over here, right? This is gonna be the anvil. This is gonna be my anvil, so that's gonna go there, right? And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the grommet that has the neck, right? The grommet with the neck, and what I'm gonna, did I do this right? Yeah, actually I did show it on this one. Oh, we got 2 necks here. So you're gonna take the neck and you're just gonna place it like that into position, right? Right, you see how that neck is just placed on that punch, Okay. And I'm going to take this other little piece here, right? This is the anvil that's going to go on top of the bigger anvil. And I'm just going to push, just set it like that. And now, while that's pushing down, now I'm just going to, with my fingers, I'm just going to push this through. I can actually even use this. And get the neck basically to come through that hole that I just made. Sometimes you got to stretch it a little bit. Sometimes you got to force it. This is not, we're not going for like some type of an award for fashion here. We're just trying to get this thing to the point where we can hang our armor on it. Come on. Here we go. Almost. And then sometimes there's a little bit of struggle involved with trying to get this shit to get in its position. There we go, got it. So now I got the neck to come completely through. Now sometimes your fabric might be really thick and you might need to go to larger grommets. Okay? So I have here, I do have a set of larger grommets in case I need them. So once this comes through, right? So it's sitting on the anvil now, and I can see the neck is through over here, right? And this is an important part now, right? Before you start hammering, suck it back in place. Before you start hammering, you got basically fabric glue called fray check. You get this at the fabric store. I got this at Walmart. Fray check, it's like $3. And basically this is glue. And you are going to generously put this around that hole that you made, because that's going to basically like crazy glue that fabric together. You want to put enough of it so that it goes all the way through to the other side, okay? Because because you're putting it on top, but you want it to go all the way to the bottom, okay? So now I'm going to take my flat grommet, I'm going to place it on top of it, okay? And now I'm going to take the set, put that there, hold that position, grab the hammer. It doesn't take a lot because it's like soft brass. Okay? Take out the anvil, take out the hammer. Actually, sometimes what I'll do is I'll just, once I get it into position, I'll just give it a little bit more with the hammer. Okay? And there it is. That's the one that we just put in. All right. You see how it went in? I got the full grommets now in place to hold the armor. And what's also not a bad idea is to take some of this fray glue. Take some of this fray glue. I'm just going to basically just on the back side here, just go around the grommet. Now, if again, I mean, this is not like super neat or super pretty. I'm not going to win any fashion awards for this. Okay, this is to get it to work. This jacket, these things get shredded pretty quickly, so I'm not, you know, from a distance, nobody's going to be able to see. Remember, this is going to get covered with the armor plate, so from a distance, people aren't going to, you know if you got any marks over here, or if you beat up the grommets a little bit, or if you have like if you got extra grommets there because you screwed up or whatever. So that's how I put the armoring point into my Gambison, and this will tie on there. I'm actually gonna remove this shit. I don't need that. I don't get it there. I just need the shoulder cover. Probably gonna redo this lever. This is old. Let me get this lever out of there. I want to put a fresh piece of lever. Basically, I'm just gonna grind these out and then rivet in a fresh piece of leather here. Okay, so that's how you do it. That's how you put the grommets into your Gambisons. Drop some comments below if you got any questions. Hope the video was useful. I'll talk to you all soon. Hey everyone, I want to show you guys how I did the elbows in the jacket, because that was like one of the most difficult things, and a lot of times I was basically kind of mostly working blindly. So basically I took the pick, punched a hole through it like this, right? That's with a standard pick. Then basically I just took this hole punch and basically just ran it through till I maxed out, till I got to that point, right? Now, depending on the grommet size, the holes might be a little bit, you know, basically you got to match it to your grommets, okay? So I made my hole. Then what I did is I left this in there, right? Because especially when you're working on the elbow, you can't see the backside. So what I did then is I came up through the sleeve, you know, mostly probably at the shoulder area. And what I did is I basically came through, reached through, and then basically found this on the other side, and then basically put that there like that, okay? Then I got the anvil, right? Ran that through the hole and set that like that. So this is what it looks. You can't see the inside of the elbow, but this is what it's looking like, okay? All right, so you can only see this side. So then what you do is you push this down. Now when I was working the elbow, because ideally I don't want to cut out materials. I want to push material to the side. But when I was working on the elbow, it became like especially frustrating. So what I resorted to was using this tool over here, right? So this is basically a tube that's sharp on one side and you hammer on the other side. And what I did is I put that there, right? And then placed this on top of an anvil, basically a hammer. I was able to put like a small sledgehammer. And what I did is I put that there, hammered on this with another hammer, with a lighter hammer, and that cut the hole, okay? So if you're working on an elbow, using this tubular cutting device is going to probably be the easiest way, because you're probably not going to be able to peel back the material around the hole. So you use this, basically slam it there with a hammer. It's going to cut a hole like that. Then you take the other end of this, you're going to place that over there like that, okay? Now you're going to take this piece here, okay, because that's what's going to basically flatten out that side there and basically rivet it over. I even found this piece, which is slightly heavier, but does the same thing. And again, it's curved, so it's going to bend these things outward. Okay, so you're going to put that like that, and then just basically hammer. You don't have to like hammer super hard because this is soft brass, and that's going to bend this thing back, and it'll hold the grommets in place. Oh, before you do this, you want to take some fray check. All right, this is basically like fabric glue. I basically fill this side up with the fabric glue over here so that the fabric doesn't rip over time. So put your fray check there. Then put that at the right side. No, go like that. Yeah, no, it's the right side. Put that there like that. Take your anvil. Take your set. Put that there like that. Right. So now this is sandwiched. Remember, you probably, if you work in the elbow, you're not going to be able to see the back side of this. But this is what it's going to look like on the other side. All right. You hammer on that. This is on a really hard surface or on another hammer, and they'll bend it out. Okay, and that's how you put your grommets in. I'm going to attach this to the end of the other video that I did in detail, and I'm also going to upload this as a short standalone video on its own. So just in case somebody just wants to, you know, just a quick reminder on how these, you know, what it takes to put these grommets in. They'll have a quick reference. So I'm going to upload this as a shorter video. So thanks for watching, and drop some comments below.